Hey, it's Dinosa again, work of art, season 2, episode 2. Um, just wanted to touch over this episode briefly. There's not really much to tell about the episode, but it was interesting on a lot of things. Anyway, the winner of the last episode, I forgot to mention, was Michelle. And she gets immunity here from being eliminated. Now, what happened is that since she won, then it goes on to the next week. So they all get up and they end up taking a walk down to New York Park, and they get those hardcore street runners or active. It's those people. They're called street acrobatics or park jumpers, which they run up, they bounce off walls, they do these funky acrobatic tricks. Which really stems to they're just bored out of their freaking skull and they don't have any money, so let's do tricks off walls. I think that's how it all started. But they did this. They did that thought process, not thought process, but they watched these people and they said, okay, your art work today is going to be about motion and just having things move and move. And it was pretty interesting. So they said you're going to walk back from the park all the way to your studio, and you're going to start again. And let's just see where you guys go with this. So they walk there, they go there, and they see all this inspiration. And there's a lot of interesting that comes up. Now, what the rules are basically, it's to split up into two different teams, but each one of their individual works will be judged, and all the individual works have to kind of coincide to something. Now, the way I took that was each person builds an individual thing, and with all these things combined, they make one big thing. That's the way I interpret it. Maybe I just misinterpreted it incorrectly. Maybe it was just a theme or something along those lines. But that's the way I took it as. So the first thought, which was fitting with my theme, is one of the teams had decided, specifically Michelle, about poop and the whole human digestion system. That's motion. That was actually not a bad idea. On that, and another team's idea was just like it started really as not motion, but just something like the world or a playground or something. So they go out there and they go deal or go to start work, and throughout the day, especially Catherine, she's having difficulty about the whole project. She says she doesn't grasp motion. I don't know what is up with Catherine about blood and guts. I think she is like, she wants to kill somebody like Psycho Stalker. It's thumbs up with that. For her, that she should have either been a doctor or neurosurgeon or something, you know, because she was obsessed with blood and guts. It's like, whoa, you gotta be kidding me. And, sorry. And, they did this, and they started the project. Now Simone, the most interesting, Simone comes in there and starts talking about how their projects, where they're going with this. And then the one group says digestive poop, and it says that moves really slow. It says, okay, it says we'll keep working at it. Then he goes to the other team, and then he hears their explanation. Then he's like, okay, everybody here, y'all not getting the point here. So basically, like he says, start over, scrap everything you got. You guys got to go in a different direction. The theme is motion, movement, not like slow. It has to be fast. It has to be moving. It has to be something. So there were a few creative ideas that were thrown out there, which some of them were quite interesting, and some of them were not that smart at all. One of them is a game like Coney Island, Sucklord. He made a game where you flip the rat, where you Coney Island, the rat gets flipped, and hey, you know, and that was his thing. Neat idea. It involves motion, it involves that, hitting the rat. Hey, great. Another one was like a stalker dude at a playground, and he has these two handles, which were the testicles on that, and it was like, oh. The guys were like, oh, the girl's like, oh, I got no problem with this, and the hands move or something, so it was kind of creepy. Other person had a railroad, not railroad, but a roller coaster with no train on it, but the image showed kind of motion. Then there was looping, flipping, and then Bayate took his camera and all he did was spin around and the background behind him would move. And that's artistically, it's always a good thing. They do that in movies a ton of the times. You look at one of Denzel Washington's movies when he's stunned about something. All of a sudden he'll be like half the screen. His face will be on half the screen like this, and then the whole background will start moving. It's kind of funny. It's a good artistic effect, but that's kind of how those played out. So they all get together, and Catherine is the one that has the most difficulty about this, and her idea was that she's going to take like some blood, pig guts or something, to throw them on there and set the camera on loop with her throwing it there, trying to show motion. The guy who, in my opinion, actually should have won, which I liked his arc, was Leon, that he made a light bulb that would go back and forth, and he had these two adults fighting, and you could see the shadows of the adults fighting, you know, while the light was moving. And it was kind of neat. It was a really neat idea, and I liked that one the most. Then they reviewed them all, and they said there was two teams. One team was Loop, and another one was a playground thing. Turns out the team that's a playground thing ended up winning, not Loop, which I thought Loop was going to win, but oh well. But they critiqued people, and Laura had one of the most, or Jasmine I should say, had one of the most or Lola, she had one of the most display, is she literally found a bag of shredded papers, and she took the shredded papers and put them up, and everybody was like, they're just bags of shredded paper. What's so art about this? There was almost no effort put into this. And she's like, oh, Catherine, they're like, all you did was make a video of me on the ground. That's it. There's nothing original about that. And it turns out the winner of the whole thing, and I have no idea why I'm yawning so much, but the winner of the whole thing turned out to be Bayate, with the camera movement thing, because he did two pictures on both sides, and he worked it so they would like go together. The backgrounds would go in opposite directions, and it tripped people. It really was confusing, and they said that was the most artistic work that there is, and that is why you deserve the work of art. And so Bayate got some immunity. The person they eliminated after they ripped on Lola, and then one of the person is Catherine, because she just did not get the thing, and Catherine was like crying. I mean, you could really do a whole review on how Catherine was crying, like sick, psycho. You know, I mean, she needs friends or something. I don't know, but it was sad on that. Oh, and one of the most interesting things was the Arkansas one, where he took a picture of himself on a teeter-totter, which was a good idea, and he only had it down, and he said the object is being alone, because that's how he's feeling, because his family's in Arkansas, but he's here, and the T-tower is just up, and there's nobody on the other end, so he feels alone. And that was a really neat one as well. But overall, it was an okay episode. I didn't think too highly of it. It was motion, and this is like trimming the fat. So far, Catherine needed to be eliminated. The other guy, no. The other guy did not need to be eliminated, and that's what's kind of funny. Now, thankfully, they're not going to bring him back. They're not going to pull what they pulled Average Joe, where they bring all these good-looking guys in because a girl threatens to walk out on them. They're not going to do that. Not in this kind of thing. But anyway, yep, this is Dinosa doing Work of Art Season 2. There wasn't really much to report on this, other than that Suckler. I mean, no one really, there was no drama, there's nothing really. It's just everybody was working. Surprisingly though, I will say this, surprisingly though, the man that was actually trying to coordinate things was Sucklord. He understood the concept. He understood this is what they want us to do, this is what we got to do. And let's focus, let's keep this. Sucklord's actually taking care of charge, so he's and people may not like him, but he's trying to get it for the team when he has to team up. But then otherwise, he's there for himself. But that's the most interesting, I think, character of all of them. Leon just said, "Oh, that's that's in sign language on that," and that's he just said, "Okay, yeah, that's great," and all that. But there's not much drama, but. Other than that, you got rid of Catherine. That was the whole episode, getting rid of Catherine, and pretty much the group's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, leaving." And they're probably like, "Thank God, sicko." She probably eats livers or something. So you could kind of see it. But otherwise, again, this is Dinosa with Work of Art Season 2, Episode 2. We'll go ahead and continue more later. Bye.